Okay, hold on.
16th of November, Rabbi Furst, Pierke Avos.
Okay, yeah. Good morning. This is Rabbi Shlomo Furst here. Yeshiva Samanavshi here in Shlem Care of Zoom. This is our first year in Pierke Avos, the 5th parak. We're learning about the 10 things that were created by the Shmashas, Maisa Braces. Lo, if you could allow me to do the screen, sharing the screen, I'll put that back on the screen as well.
What is
Okay, you're good.
Thank you.
So does that mean then that since the is recognized as a natural phenomena and to connect it with the sun and liquid matter, that the rainbow then was in existence before Hashem designated it as a sign of his promise to us?
Right. So that's not clear, right? That was one of my questions, and I don't have an answer for that right now. We're gonna have to spend a little bit more time. Oh, by the way, Lou, we're doing this paragraph about the rainbow again. Okay.
Okay.
So I'm not sure. Apparently, all the physical necessities of a rainbow occurring should have been there at the beginning of Maisa Bereshis, right? So as to whether or not they had rainbows before the Mabul or not, I tend to think no, but I don't have any proof for that yet. I haven't found any particular proof for that yet, but I tend to think no. I tend to think that.
Rabbi, didn't we read that that the miracle of it was the knowledge of the intention of Hashem, not the rainbow itself?
We'll see if that's exactly what he means to say, because if that's what's true, that we don't need it to be created during Ben Shmashas, right? If it's just the intention, you just write it in the Torah. And it says there in the Torah, it gives you all the information you need. It doesn't have to have a special creation during Ben Shmashas.
But the fact that it occurs at a certain time, in other words, it's a natural occurrence, but the coincidence of it occurring at a certain time when Hashem is unhappy with us, that's the unnaturalness of it.
Right. True, but we have to understand something else in terms of the physics of the rainbow. Whether a person sees a rainbow is dependent largely on his positioning. Meaning, for example, I saw a rainbow this morning. There was a rainbow this morning, right? Now, I'm not sure if any of you would have been looking in the same direction as I would have seen the rainbow, because it depends on the way the observer is positioned. It's like you have to have like a triangular effect. You have to have the sun rays impinging upon the water particles, the vapor, and then it has to be refracted properly, and then you have to be in a position where you can see the refraction, right? So it's not like something like you see like a sunrise or something that the whole world sees the sunrise on that side of the world, or a solar eclipse, where even a solar eclipse not everybody sees. There are only very specific places where a person can view a solar eclipse, right?
Mm-hmm.
A lunar eclipse, for example, that basically it's pretty much the whole nighttime area of the world that can see it, because it's something which is there in the sky. But again, many times you can't see all these things. It's not something which is like a fixed. It's dependent upon the observer, right, Lou?
Absolutely.
So,
They'll tell you the total eclipse is going to be in this area, but in other areas it's a partial eclipse, and other areas you can't see it at all.
Yeah, that's right. That think about the Rosh Chodesh. A solar eclipse has to occur on Rosh Chodesh because that's when the sun is positioned directly behind the moon, and that's why the moon is considered to be new. But not always is there going to be an eclipse effect. But it always occurs. So 2 weeks ago, or a little bit more, maybe almost 3 weeks now, there was a solar eclipse, and here in Eretz Yisrael was only about 45%, right?
Right, I remember reading about that.
Yeah. So when we say that it's a siman, right? It's a siman that a Kadosh Baruch is displeased. So what is that? It's a siman that the person who sees it, it's Hashem's displeased with him because he's the one who's seeing it. Not everybody, maybe everybody in my neighborhood could have seen it, 2 hours ago, right? But someone down by the coastal or someone by in remote or in Sanhedrin Mechevet, maybe they couldn't have seen it, right? Because the angling, the positioning wasn't proper that they could actually see it. So Hashem's not upset at them. I don't know. I'm really baffled by the whole subject. I'm really baffled by it, to tell you the truth.
Well,
Figure it out yet.
I'll add another baffling fact. When I was in Alaska, I saw many rainbows.
Right.
I saw more rainbows during the couple of weeks I was in Alaska than I've seen in my entire life.
Okay.
So does that mean that the people in Alaska are particularly bad?
Maybe the polar bears. I don't know.
I mean, I presume the reason I saw so many is because of the weather conditions in Alaska, because it's north of the Arctic Circle, and there's probably some atmospheric factors that cause it to have a lot more rainbows.
Yeah, you were there during the summertime or the wintertime? Probably the summertime. I guess.
Summertime.
Yeah, probably you don't want to go there in the winter too much. Probably get too much snow. But
right, the winter will be too cold.
yeah, so that means and in general, probably the sun was in a low position in the sky most of the day anyway, right?
No, it was in the low position at night, but in the daytime it was normal.
Really, in the daytime it became normal. Interesting.
I mean, I didn't study it, but my recollection was it was normal in daytime.
Interesting. So yeah, it could be that I don't know, because maybe there's more mist, water vapor in the air or something like that. It wasn't raining. Was it raining at those times?
No.
Could have been maybe a lot of water vapor. Maybe somehow with the temperature gradients between the different areas were such that there was a lot of water vapor, and that created the effect that you could have a rainbow. So yeah, I mean, so it's something which is basically it's something which is dependent on completely natural conditions to occur, and yet we see that it's connected with this it's being an omen, a siman for us to take seriously. So yeah, we'll have to. I'm going to try, as I said, I'm going to try and get some more information about it in general. We'll just go through this piece again, this paragraph again, just to get a preface, basic forward for the basic topic, and then we can try and find out more about it.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, let's continue on.
Okay, so Lachim Sephirim. Sephirim are sapphires, and they're used to ward off evil.
Okay, very good.
So that's and Kamo Hamayim v'Avnei HaShocham. Similar, the water and stones of the Shocham, which is onyx, which is also a stone, Even Tova, a good stone.
Right. So that's what when you look at the through jewels, if they're transparent enough, then they create a prison effect, right? And also water. You can create prison spectrum effects from water as well, right?
Right. Okay. Shlocham, okay. Naaseh meoto nitzutz kidemut gavne hakeshet shehem yarok ba'adam. Oh, that's interesting. So what from its sign, it creates a sparkling, like
Well,
the image. Okay, go ahead.
right, right. So yeah, I'd say it's a little bit difficult to translate it. But also nitzus from that sun ray, which strikes the various jewels or it strikes the water, it will be made um, a similar similar colors to those of the rainbow, which are green and red. Obviously, other colors as well. Sometimes yara can mean blue also. In many of the in Rosh Kodesh, yara can be blue and red, and all the colors in between. So when that sun ray strikes the jewels, which are transparent enough to create a prism effect, or water, then the spectrum that you see is similar to the colors of the rainbow.
Wow. Okay. Let's see. Ve'ein yecholet b'yad seva la'asot ke'ein otam gavanim na'aseh kitzurat keshet.
So I think this means it's not possible. Ein yecholos. It's not possible. Biyad seva. Biyad seva. I believe in like a painter. A painter is not able to make those colors, gavonim, those colors, and make it into a form of a keshes. Even though there are colors being produced, you can't take those colors and form it into the form of a rainbow. Right? You can make a spectrum, right? You can get it from a prism. From a prism, you can get a spectrum, but that's not going to form necessarily into a shape of a rainbow. So it could maybe that's the point. Maybe that's the point. It could be that you have maybe that's the point. It's called a keshet. It's called a keshes. A keshes is a rainbow. Because why? Because you see that there is the natural physical potential for spectrums to be created. You can create spectrums, right? But that a spectrum should be formed into the shape of a rainbow, that it should be formed into the shape of a bow, right? That's something which is unique to the rainbow itself. Maybe we could say this pshat. Maybe they had rainbows. When rain would fall, maybe they did form spectrums, but after the marble was formed, Hashem made it to form into a shape of a rainbow, a bow. Maybe that was something which was uniquely created during Maaseh Bereshis. In fact, it's in the shape of a bow. I don't know. I'm just speculating right now.
I don't know. I don't understand exactly what you're saying, because there are lots of paintings with rainbows in them.
No, yeah, you can paint it, but you can't take a spectrum. You can't take a spectrum and make it into the shape of the bow. The fact that it's formed as a bow in the heavens, that's something unique.
Oh, I see what you mean. So if we make a spectrum here, it has to be through a prism, and it
Right,
comes
prism-
out, and it comes out
exactly.
straight lines.
Right, a prism is not going to make a bow. It'll make a straight prism, a spectrum on, you'll see a straight bar of colors of the rainbow, but it won't be in the shape of a bow.
Mhm.
Now, I'm not sure. Let's say you would take a bow-shaped prism. Would make a bow-shaped spectrum. I don't know. Maybe it could be. I don't know.
I don't think so. But still,
No, I bet you the rays would not be distinct like that.
Could be. Yeah, they might
Yeah.
might intermerge. Correct, Carl. Possibly. Okay, very
Yeah.
good.
Okay. Lefi shemei haaretz he ke'ein kador. So what? So therefore, that from the earth is like a ball, I guess.
It's like since the Earth is like a sphere, it's like a ball.
Okay. Let's see. Okay. Olim adim mechamat ritichat hashemesh v'hem olim kedurayim u'mit katzrim ke'ein mechoded. I'll go to the end, although it's a lot. Shikorin Handasayim.
Handasim like engineers or
Oh,
Handas
okay.
is like an engineer.
Mechoded ha'itz tuna.
I think that's what they call. I think that's a word for prism. I'm not sure. If you could look up what the Hebrew word for prism is. I'm not sure if that's what it is.
It's tuna. Okay. Let's see real quick if I can find it.
But basically, what he said in the previous sentence was, since the Earth is like a sphere, and olim edim machmas sikas hashemesh, and they come up from the Earth's surface, vapors that are a result of the warming of the sun. Sun warms things up and it creates vapors to rise. Olim kedurim umiskatzrim. And they go up and they focus. And I think it's like that these vapors in somehow ways form a prism type of an formation.
Let's see. Eats. What was it? Eats toning. Yeah, I can't find it in here. Looks like it has something, might have something to do with astrology. Eats to.
Um,
I'm going to look for it without the vav in it, but I don't see it. Okay. Let's see where we were. Okay, so eats tona. Okay. Ukishe ha'adim avim the chashuchim eino naaseh keshet. Eino mikabel hanitzot. So it can't get the rays apparently.
Right. Adim avim. Okay, so when the adim, when these vapors are dense, avim, when they're dense, right?
Okay.
Choshuchim and like thick. Ein nasa keshes. A rainbow won't be made. Won't be made if the vapors are too dense and thick. the rainbow won't be made. She'eina mekabel nitzutz. It doesn't receive the rays, meaning it doesn't allow the rays to pass through. You have to have the rays passing through for the rainbow to occur.
Okay. Ukashayish bo me'at lechut hu mekabel l'nitzotz umaka bo nasa keshet k'temunat oto amud. Ukashayish, when?
So what happens then that kishiyesh bo ma'at luchos, when there is a minimal amount of moisture, who mekablanit, since it receives the ray, meaning the ray passes through it, this vapor, umaka bo, and it strikes it, v'nasa keshes, and it becomes a rainbow. Kitmunas osamo, like the form of that pillar, the pillar of the rainbow, even though it's curved, but it's an amud. That amud, that pillar of light, the spectrum of light, which you see, is now formed.
Oh, okay. The hu matchil milamala keneged hashemesh u'mak'ad lemata meha'aretz makom shehanitzutz magia sham.
I see.
That they begins from above, meaning in relationship to at the highest point of the bow, where the sun is, and it strikes it all the way till below until it strikes the earth, makam anitzutz magia sham, where the sun rays reach there.
Oh. Okay, so the sun rays, okay. Reach there. Okay. Arcane Leolam Haim Ragli Hakeshet Keneged Hashemesh.
Right, and it forms the Arcane Olam Haim Ragli Keshes Neged Hashem. Therefore, you always find that the feet, I mean the base of the Keshes, is opposite the sun.
Oh, that's
Meaning
interesting.
the bow is always going from one. It's curved at the highest point, facing the sun, not the opposite way. It's not that the feet, so to speak, of the bow are in the sky. The feet of the bow are always on the ground with earth. That's something else also. That's something. Now why that should be, I'm sure there's probably explanation why that the curvature of the rainbow is always going from the earth upward, and not the opposite way. Right, Ru? Must be some good explanation why that is, right?
That's I think that might be part of the miracle, part of the reason it's created in Ashmashos.
It could be, right? It could be. I mean, I'm not sure physically if there's any necessity why it has to be that way, that the bow has to be inverted in a way that it's the high point is in the sky and the low points are on the earth. I mean, why couldn't it be inverted the other way? I don't know.
I have a raya that if you when we went to Yosemite and we were looking at the waterfalls.
Right,
We saw a rainbow next to one of the waterfalls, and it was a vertical line. It wasn't a bow shape at all.
right, right. Yeah, I mean, in terms of the optics involved, right? The optics, you know, there's nothing really special about the optics. I mean, it's a nice, beautiful thing to see. But there's nothing, you know, unusual, so to speak, about the actual optics, right? So maybe the configuration of the bow and why it's a bow in that direction, that might be more or less the thing which is being necessitated to be created during Ben Ishmoshes. Could be, I'm not sure. Could be.
Okay, let's see. Kavar, Zikro Zeh. Not sure what this abbreviation is.
That
Reish Zion Lamed.
right. Ukvar Zurchu Zer Razal. That's Rabosenu Zachlon V'Brocha. Instead of Chazal, sometimes you have a Ches. That means Chazal Chachmenu Zachlon V'Brocha. Sometimes they write Razal Rabbeinu
Oh, okay.
Zachlon V'Brocha.
Okay. Beperek Ein Dorshin. This is, I guess, when Chagiga. Not know. Bo Ta'am Acher outside Hamidrash.
So, Chazal already mentioned this in the that is the Gemara in Chagiga. V'nitnu lo tam acher al tzad midrash. They gave it another reason based on the medrash. All right.
Okay. Chagiga Tet Zion, huh? Okay. And it's based on a medrash. Okay. V'achar shehu teva mahaya zeh ha'ot shenatan Hashem lenoach.
Right, meaning the Gemara is asking basically was this that since in essence the rainbow was something which is natural, why was this os? Did Hashem give it to Noah? Why did Hashem give this os to Noah?
Oh. That's a good question. Okay. Ha'oti shehashem yitbarach bara anan lekabel hanitzot k'dei sheyizkor habrit lekayem shavua shenishba lenoach shelo yeh od hamabul shachet kol basar. Okay, so it was a sign.
So Kadosh Baruch Hu gave what? So the explanation is that Kadosh Baruch Hu gave that this sign that he created the cloud, the Kabbalah Nitzutz, that the cloud was created in order to receive the sun rays, Kadesh Yizkor Bris, in order that the covenant should be remembered, the Kaim Shavuot, to fulfill his promise. Of the oath that was sworn to Noah, there will be no other time that there'll be another Mabul and to destroy all flesh.
Wow. Okay. Okay. The P, ki acher hayot bam anan, hu beteva lihiyot bo hakeshet, aval ha'anan yihye derech ot. Zehu shene'amar. Okay, and there's a quote here. V'haya be'inyanei anan v'nirta hakeshet be'in anan. Anan.
That even though Afapi ki acher hoes gam anan u tevelios bokeshes, even though that the anan, meaning the clouds really have in them the natural potential for making a rainbow. It should be, however, that this was made in order to be an os.
Oh.
Yes. So the fact that it's going to be an os, but I'm not sure exactly how this fits in terms of the ultimate teretz.
Okay. Let's see. Amar ha'in anan yihye b'ritzon hakel. So this cloud is the will of Hashem.
That the fact that I think it should be an os, right? That is the will of Hashem, that it should be anan ye b'ritzon hakel, meaning the fact that there's a cloud, it should be according to the will of HaKadosh Baruch Hu. V'keshes yira me'atzmo, and the keshes is seen individually, meaning, I think I'm getting it a little bit better. He seems to be saying, really, the rainbow and the cloud are two different things, right? They're not this. Is not you don't see the rainbow in the cloud. The rainbow is separate and distinct from the cloud itself, even though that the cloud, the vapors, the water vapors, may be what's causing the physical refraction of the light to make the rainbow, but we don't see the rainbow actually in the cloud itself.
Right, that's true. Okay. Ukafar Pirshanu Zeh Bechelik Sheni Mizeh HaSefer. It was already explained.
Excuse me?
It was already explained in the second part of this book.
This is, I'm going to try and find this later on today, that we already explained this in the second section of this sefer.
Okay.
Can you clarify, Rabbi, the point in the previous sentence about the cloud and the vapor? Is it saying that it should be that we see it actually in the cloud and it's not natural to be seen away from the cloud?
That's what he seems to be saying. He seems to be saying that part of what was made over here is that you don't see the rainbow in the cloud. The rainbow is something which is separate and distinct from the cloud, even though that the rainbow is being created from the cloud, the water vapor in the cloud.
Uh-huh.
That's what he seems to be saying.
Okay, let's see. Matzinu b'sheshet yemei Bereshit dugma lazeh. Okay, now Marshet nivra bein hashmashot ki az nivrau ha'ananim v'nigzar aleihem sheyikablu ot hakeshet.
So it was the creation of these clouds. There was a Bein Hashmashos, there was the creation of these clouds and it was gozer decreed upon them that they should literally shikiblu the keshes. They should receive the keshes.
Oh. Wow.
I'm sorry, I don't get that. It was decreed upon the clouds that they should receive the keshet?
Right.
What does that mean?
It could be that the clouds really, he made a statement earlier that the clouds usually are too thick. The water vapor is too dense and thick for the rainbow to be seen, because it doesn't allow that the sun rays it stops the sun rays from passing through. It has to be transparent to the extent that you can pass, the rays can pass through, and you refract it and make the spectrum, and then it has to be changed into that particular shape of the rainbow. So Hashem was geyser that the clouds, even though they themselves may be too thick in terms of their vapor content to create the rainbow, nevertheless the clouds are what are the cause of the rainbow. I don't follow it really well what he's saying here. I'll have to try and see if I can find out later on in the day what his explanation is that he's mentioned earlier in the previous sentence. It was discussed previously in another section of the Sefer. I have to see what he says to elaborate on this. So it's still a bit of a mystery what the actual necessity of what was actually created during Ben Ishmashus that should be relevant to the rainbow. Okay, well, we'll need to stop here, and hopefully tomorrow I can hopefully in the course of the day find some more things about this.
Is it possible when Hashem created the waters, that's when he created the clouds, and Bein Hashmashot, or the rainbow was a byproduct of the clouds at Bein Hashmashot, something like that?
Yeah, something.
Because it doesn't say that Hashem created a rainbow in the Yemei Bereshit.
No, that's right.
But it does talk about water, and that's a byproduct, is clouds of that. So maybe.
Well, doesn't it say that my bow will be a sign to you?
Right.
Yeah, but that was to Noah already.
Right.
So that was way after creation.
Ah, I see what you're saying.
Yeah, that's one of the things we still have to try and work out. Okay, look, it's a wide subject. We're not going to get to the bottom of it in a short amount of time. So we'll try and work at it some more. Hopefully I can get some new information to help us understand this a little bit better tomorrow, Mitzvah Shem.
Okay.
In the meantime, let's take a little break. Roy should have a good afternoon.
Thank you. You too. Be well and see